Gather up some yardsticks for this amazing wood look hack. The dresser holding a TV in my bedroom really needed a makeover. The long overdue bulging drawers were emptied of memorabilia, then they were cleaned and removed. After taking down all the TV components from the top, I gave the dresser a good clean inside and out with hot soapy water, then allowed it to dry. Reaching for Coal Black by Fusion Mineral Paint, I used a small paintbrush to paint moldings in tighter areas. Then used long end-to-end rolls for the smoothest finish possible. The hardware off the drawers were removed, then the drawer fronts were lightly sanded. After taping the sides of each drawer, the drawer fronts and sides up to the paint were painted in coal black as well. Remember my failed paint stripping attempt? Here's what I did instead. I arranged some cedar strips and yardsticks across the front of the drawers, taking note where I wanted the yardstick words positioned. Marking a line on one side of the boards, I cut the boards with a miter saw, then measured each drawer and cut the rest of the wood strips to fit. All the boards got a light sand, then were arranged on each drawer. Reaching for some heavy-duty glue sticks made for woodworking, I hot glued each strip onto the drawer fronts, working quickly before the glue cooled off. While I did love the raw wood look, I decided to paint the drawer fronts with Tough Coat by Fusion Mineral Paint. This product makes wood more wipeable and gives the wood tone a little more depth. To chime in with the rustic vibe, I selected random hardware pieces to attach to the drawer fronts for a unique twist. And my once very tired TV stand is now a wood look dresser that I didn't have to strip. I hope this inspires you to rethink an old dresser you don't want to strip and flip it into a woodsy wonder thanks to a few boards and yardsticks.
I think you'll be amazed at what you can create using discarded furniture, and I purchased them both for $35 total. I then took some bamboo sticks, which I had purchased from Amazon, and I measured the length of the front of the drawers. I cut the bamboo sticks to this length using some cutters. I only prepared them for the middle and bottom drawer because I had decided that I was going to remove and discard the top drawer. I removed the old doorknobs from the remaining drawers that I was working on, and then I sanded them down lightly and then wiped away any leftover residue. I spaced out my bamboo sticks the way that I like to see them, and then I applied them simply using liquid nails. When it came time to add the bamboo sticks to the bottom drawer, I made sure to line it up directly under the drawer on top of it so that the bamboo sticks would stay in alignment with each other. I took the drawers and the cabinets outside and I spray painted them. I didn't use a roller or anything fancy. I just bought 2 cans of spray paint and decided to give it a try. While I was outside, I also cut a thin piece of plywood so that it would replace where that top drawer was that I had removed. I simply slid this into place and continued painting the entire nightstand. Once it was all dry, a couple of hours later, I added new pulls, which I had purchased online as well. I like the way the gold looks against the blue. I carried it all inside and put it into my room. I decorated the nightstand with just a candle and some books that I like, and I'm really happy with the way this nightstand turned out. It's exactly the color that I wanted. It was a really quick and easy project to do, and I love my new fluted nightstand.
I saw this dresser at a thrift store, and I knew I could work some magic on it. So I took it all apart, and then I got to taking off them old knobs. Those definitely are gotta go. And then I got out the heat gun because I'm going to get those stickers off. Anything that's left on, you can use some Goo Gone or any type of remover and get it off. Next, it's time to sand down every part that needs to be painted. Now, normally if you're painting, you don't need to worry about sanding down. But because of all the scratches and gouges, if you sand it, you can get those out and you don't have to fill them. So, go ahead and keep doing that and get it all done. And next, it makes a lot of sawdust, but it's worth getting off. Now it's time to get some good quality primer and pour it out. As you can see, I'm using a foam roller. It's going to give me a nice, smooth finish. So that's why we're going to put on a nice, smooth coat of primer. It keeps that paint from peeling later. Now comes the secret to this transformation. We're going to take some pencils and cut off the back of their erasers. All we want is the wood, because what we're going to do is mark the top 2 drawers every 1.5 inches. Mark it off, and we're going to draw a straight line down the 2 top drawers. What we're going to do is take some wood glue, and we're going to glue down the pencil. Make sure the glue side is where the label is. We don't want to see that on top. There's two ways to do it. You can take a little brush, take that glue, put it on the pencil. Once it's on there, you lay it down. It doesn't take long for it to dry. Another way you can do it is take the glue and lay it out along the line that you're going to put the pencil down. Take the pencil then and put it right down. Either way will work. Now it's time to put on a coat of paint. Again, I'm using the foam roller. I want to use it to make it a nice smooth finish. I want to go with the semi-gloss because it makes stains and wiping up and cleaning the dresser afterwards a cinch. Now it came time to put the paint on where the pencils are. This is a little bit trickier, but use a brush and get in between all the grooves on the pencils. Now it's time to put that second coat on. On this one, I used 3 coats, and it absolutely looked great. I changed out the knobs to a nice black, and look at that. This thing exceeded my expectations. Do you remember how it started off? It had scratches and stickers and gunk all over it, and look at it now. It just looks like a work of art. And I love the contemporary design of the top drawers. This project absolutely exceeded my family's expectations. I hope this inspired you to build your own upcycle DIY dresser.
If you come across a standard dresser with drawers that's seen better days, you won't recognize it after this fabulous flip idea. I'm removing all the drawers from the dresser since they won't be needed. However, I will be using 2 drawer pulls. All the drawer brackets from the inside of the dresser are being removed. The entire dresser is getting a scuff sand all over, then dusted off with a tack cloth. To prepare for painting, I'm placing 2 pieces of wood and paper underneath the dresser. Choosing a paint color called Cast Iron by Fusion Mineral Paint, I'm first edging all the corners with a smaller paintbrush, then rolling the rest of the paint on all sides of the dresser. I like using a velour roller for smooth surfaces to alleviate brush strokes. I'm now measuring slightly larger than the width and height of all the dresser drawer cutouts, then cutting 4 shorter and 4 longer pieces of lumber to create 2 door frames. Dry fitting the boards into rectangles, I'm adjusting a Craig jig pocket hole maker to the thickness of the boards I'm using, which is 3/4 of an inch. I want to assemble the board, so I'm screwing into the side of the wood grain for added strength. Choosing some simple butt hinges, I'm using a ruler to help position 2 hinges on the edges of each door. Holding the hinge in place, I'm penciling in the screw placements, then pre-drilling small holes and assembling with screws. After ironing some burlap sandbags, I'm positioning them onto a work table, then placing the door frames on top. With a piece of chalk, I'm tracing the inside of the doors onto the burlap. Removing the doors, I'm now positioning various stencils within the chalked area, then replacing the door frames to get a feel for the final design. To protect the work surface, I'm slipping some waterproof bags underneath the burlap. After taping the stencils in place on the burlap, I'm stenciling the images using cast iron for a rustic coffee bean bag look. A mix of coffee and grain sack styled stencils from Funky Junk's Old Sign Stencils are being arranged in random placements until both burlap panels are completed. After the stenciling is dry, I'm placing the door frames back on the stencil burlap, then tracing the outside of each door panel with chalk, cutting along the lines. Flipping the door frames good side down, I'm positioning the burlap panels good side down on the backs of the frames, then attaching them together using a staple gun. The edges of all the burlap is being trimmed just outside the staples. Working with the inside dresser configurations, I found I could simply slip in some cut boards to create simple shelves that didn't even need to be permanently attached. After positioning the doors to be exactly in the middle of the dresser, I'm installing the door hinges with screws. And the end result is a rustic cabinet perfectly styled into a charming coffee station. The mix of raw wood, black, and burlap just adds the perfect coffee shop vibe while adding warmth and interest to any space. The stenciled coffee bean bag images really hone into this theme, which of course can be switched out to any other design you wish. And to complete the look, added mug hooks and all the coffee essentials are ready for coffee time duty.